Today we're going to be looking at the lore dump that happened on the 10th of May. So yesterday, it was pretty late in the day that it dropped, and I had a few conversations with a few people regarding it. This video is just going to be part of that conversation and me talking about it. There is going to be another video where I look at potential links with the demiurge separately. Okay, so what's the lore dump that we got yesterday? It does fill in some blanks regarding the squats and or quote-unquote Votann people who are known as the kin from now on. It says that they were in generational ships and they plied across the stars. Now it also mentions that they are genetically altered clones, all of them. They are stable mutations created by cloning, and this cloning period is known as the First Truth or First Truths, quoted in the article, is that they departed Earth on a long journey, they were in generational ships, and at this period of time when they're journeying to the central core worlds, which will become the Leagues, this fades into myth, and their history starts roughly just at the time they are settling on their new worlds, vastly altered to survive various pressures, gravity, environmental, etc, etc. Now we've got a few little pictures of them on the screen, and it displays skull ridges. It shows them very different looking, the broader faces, very typical of dwarfs, but also very typical of, in one case, a demiurge, which I will again talk about in another video, maybe when we've got more information about them. The eventual fate of the first ancestors, or these people who genetically altered the race, is rather unknown. It's like a myth. This is when the Votann cores start to come into being, and perhaps these ancient creators, these genetic engineers and these pioneers who once set off into the stars in these great generational ships came to a point where they wanted their knowledge to be accessible to their clone sons and clone daughters. So these Votann, are they partially, copied brain engrams from these original founders? Are they these, like an elder brain or an elder brain? They are a collection of people's thoughts and minds combined in, and knowledge combined in, part mechanical, part organic computer, some sort of weird hybrid fashion. And because they're so mystical now, they can't be recreated. They're a technological marvel and a fantastic part of the Votann background. It doesn't really say much more than this. It also gives us some really interesting images, especially the later one, which looks like a planet eater. Of important note now, the Men of Iron had creations or ships or engines that could eat an entire planet. This has led to a conversation which I will do a separate video on, but to summarise it very quickly, are the Men of Iron working with these Votann? They're keeping them safe because they have a similar technology. Now we don't know what's actually going on in this image, but in my mind it seems to be that they're stripping an entire planet for its resources. If they do that, if they've got the infrastructure and technology to do that, that puts them way ahead of the Imperium, where they just consider cutting their losses and using an exterminatus. The Votann perhaps have a more practical way. Well, if a planet is unusable because of Mr. Tyranids, maybe they bring in these planet crackers or these planet breakers and encircle the planet and just strip it for its resources. And because the Tyranids are on there, they are not going to have a very good day, and they'll just be ripped into pieces and used for various bioorganic minerals and other things. But we don't know. I do like the ship designs. We've got some wheels ones, we've got some boxy ones, and we've got, of course, the planet cracker itself. If it is a planet cracker, it could be some sort of wormhole creator. We don't know. Now, it goes on to say that the clone skins have stable mutations, and these mutations are sort of like thought of as badges of honor. And in the Imperium, mutations are considered the stuff of chaos, obviously, whereas these stable mutations that they've created are considered like a definition of the kin themselves. Perhaps they've got unusual eye colours, body odours, and it mentions also skin or subdermal layers. Such physical variations would be a cause of concern for the Imperium, but for the Votann, they are a badge of honour. There's much more apparently coming in the future, and when these lore dumps happen, I will put my reaction to them. This is not only the only thing about this article, because it raises a lot more questions than it answers, but I will be doing a demiurge and squat breakdown when we have maybe some more information, and maybe the Men of Iron as well. So lastly, I just want to point out a couple of things. What we've got from that article is, one, that the Votann are genetically engineered, or as it says in the article, they are clone skins. So how much genetic engineering has gone on, and how much has been acquired by a certain tech priest who made Primaris Marines? But that's just my theory anyway. We will see in the future where this goes. The second point I wanted to talk about was that they do mention that maybe they are a militarized mining force in this article, and it mentions the trikes as well, but only provides hot links for the two things. We will see what happens in the future, and it's an interesting thing to muse about. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching the video, and if you could like and subscribe, that really helps me out. And take care everyone, and bye bye.